Last episode, I went to the middle of the ocean and built a guardian farm hidden inside an oil rig, and today we need to transport all of these resources back to the dockyard for processing in one of our empty warehouses. And that means I gotta build a tanker. Between episodes, I went AFK for about 30 minutes or so, and look at all the stuff we've got. That is just a crazy amount of fish and prismarine bits, and we even got a bit of squid ink and some bone meal too, somehow. It's actually quite mad how much we got just from a very short AFK session. I love this farm. I don't love the AFK helicopter, however, but whatever. Let's go build a tanker. And I have no idea where to even begin with this. So I've had a look at a few pictures of tankers, and they're pretty much all black and red. They kind of have a black top section and then a red bit that pretty much sits underwater, and quite often a red deck as well. So with that in mind, I'm thinking maybe some red terracotta would work, and we've actually got a decent amount of that, which is nice. And because we've actually automated terracotta, we can get loads more of this if we need it, so that's not a problem. But the question is what I want to use for the black parts of the hull, because I think the black stone itself might be a little bit too dark, so maybe we should go deep slates. Although the deep slate block itself is a little bit too textured, so maybe there's something in here we can use as a base. Or even in the stone cutter, maybe? I mean, we could just use cut deep slate, I suppose. I mean, it's either got to be that or the eroded. Let's have a little look. I mean, to be honest, they barely look any different, do they? But I think for just marking out the shape, this will work. We can always add some texture and other bits later. So let's just make a bunch of this cut deep slates. And for the big old bit that sits at the back, I think limestone's going to make sense for us. I did not mean to break that. So we're also going to need some phantom tracks, and we've got a few there, but I think we've got quite a lot in our backpack. Yeah, we've got almost 2,000 in there, so that might be enough. But if not, we did kill a few phantoms last episode, so we can always make a whole bunch more. And then if we also grab ourselves a train station and some train casing, this should hopefully be all we need to get a start on this boat. And I think it's going to make sense to maybe build this over at this dock because, well, we just got a bit more space really, haven't we? And a lot less guardians to kill us. So let's just dump a little bit of track down here for now. We don't need to actually worry about the full layout for the track. Stick a station on, go to create new train, and we'll just stick an invisible bogey there as a starting point. Now, how to make big boats. So I think it's going to make sense to maybe start with the underneath of the boats. And it's probably going to be a good few blocks underwater, I'd imagine. Let's just see if we can work out a rough sort of size here. So for size and shape, maybe something like that. I mean, maybe it should be a little bit longer, potentially. But then if we picture that over here at this dock, that probably is about the right sort of size, really, isn't it? But let's have a check. How long is this boat? So, minus 841 to minus 896. So that's what, 45 blocks long?
Wrong, sir. Wrong.
And each of these sections is 7 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those is going to be 42 blocks. So, yeah, I reckon 45 is probably about right. Any bigger and the boat's just not really going to fit at the dock we've built, is it? So I guess the next step is to try and get the hull filled in. We'll work out the shape a little bit better, and hopefully when I bring you back in, this will resemble something a bit more akin to a ship, as opposed to just a random frame in the middle of the ocean. But I don't make any promises. Well, we're making some progress. I think I've got the basic shape in. It's looking a little bit boxy still, but we'll smoothen all that out a bit later. For now, though, I think what I want to do is get the cab sort of area on the back here and maybe sort of get some pipes and stuff on top and just try and work out the actual scale of this and make sure it's going to work. And that means it's time to crack out the limestone. Scale-wise, I think something like that's going to work. We just need to get some windows in and, of course, lots and lots of detailing. And I don't really know how that's going to go. So we're probably going to time-lapse this bit. Let's slap on some music, shall we? Well, I'm not going to lie, I feel like that's come out a lot better than I expected it to. The profile's looking pretty good as well. We've got the fan thing at the back. We've even got the little bulge at the front. I mean, that should probably be a bit bigger, but I think that looks fine. But I have made good use of all the random create components I could find just to sort of jam up this deck. And to be honest, I really quite like the metal trapdoors. They just add a little touch, but they really work well. But not only that, I've actually done the inside of the ship as well. So in here, we've just got sort of a little corridor that'll go upstairs, which we'll look at in a minute. We've just got a few few bits and components on this wall. We've got a little bedroom here, and we've got a small storeroom. And if we go up to the top here, this is actually going to be a train, so we need to be able to control it. So this is where our driver's going to sit. And I've just jammed in loads of controls and machinery and redstone bits just to make it look like it's actually doing something useful. And there's even a coffee cup, look at that. So with all of this as it should be, I think we can probably actually convert this back into a train now. So let's go down to this station. We will assemble train. Oh, wait a minute. I haven't actually glued it together. Got it all glued together, assembled it into a train, and I've put in a little track here just so we can see if it actually works or not. And hopefully we've not left anything behind, but with a build this big and my track record, chances are we haven't glued something. So let's jump in the driver's seat and see how we go. Well, I can instantly see I've left a small part of the boat behind. And it looks like I've left some of the deck behind as well. In the top left there, look, we've got a little bit broken. So let's just pull back into the station, disassemble again, and just get those few missing bits stuck on. Well, I can confirm the ship works. It's all moving. We haven't left anything behind. But what I need to do now is to actually work out the placement, because I need to align this ship so that when it comes into the dock, the turning looks quite natural, but also it doesn't do this and clip through the dockyard itself. So I'm going to spend a bit of time messing around with some phantom rails and see if we can't get this sorted. I imagine this is going to be a lot of trial and error. So I've been messing around quite a lot and it's not perfect, but you can see we can actually swing in now without hitting the dock, and this will obviously be a lot slower once we get it sorted properly. I have also just about managed to get it to go forward and turn around here without clipping any of the dock. And if you imagine this is going to be happening very, very slowly once it's actually automated, I think we can probably get away with it. And then it's just going to sail off into the distance, and we just need to put in a couple of crossings where it crosses the line of the other boats. I think this should work quite nicely, and I really can't wait to get this thing going around, so I'm going to get lots and lots of phantom rail in and get all this sorted, I think. However, we do have a long way to go, and I've only got 1,500 of them, so I think probably what we can actually do is if we take this line here and go directly towards the oil rig, this one over here, we can probably swoop it in so it just becomes a single line. Or in fact, maybe connecting this one over to there might be easier. I don't know. Either way, let's get placing some rail. About 20 minutes later, and I think I've got the loop in now. Hopefully this will work. I just basically need to go back and get the boats and take it on a test drive. Well, it all seems to work nicely. What I need to do now is line up some stations and actually put in the pickup and delivery bits. And I have put some storage interfaces on each side. In fact, that's what that block there indicates. That's where the interface is. It's just on the other side. So if I was to put a station about 5 blocks further forward from where it is now, that should work out nicely. And as we're about to jump in the water with the nasties again, let's take some more potions and let's figure out where to put this station. So I've got one station in, which is called Oil Rig. Let's just pull into that and see where we line up. And I'd say that's pretty good. But the thing is, we've actually got 3 different resources that we want to be pulling out of here and taking back to the main island. In fact, probably just the 2 will be fine. I don't really care about the fish. So that means we're going to need 2 exit points here, a bunch of item drains, and then if we were to put a storage interface or 2 on this bit, do I have any? Well, I have 1. Is that going to be in the right place is the question. So it has just occurred to me, I don't think I've actually put any storage on this boat, so that's not going to connect at all, is it? Let's quickly jump back inside. We should be safe to disassemble. And then let's just stick some storage on. Get that reassembled. Oh no, what's that done to my boat? I've just reassembled it and everything seems to have sort of changed orientation. That is really not helpful, game. I guess I need to do a bit of rebuilding. Oh, and now there's more phantoms as well. It's all going wrong. I won't complain about the additional phantom membrane, though. Okay, I think I've fixed everything that went wonky. Let's try that again. Ah! I'm not invisible anymore! So now, hopefully, as we pull into each station, we should first get the Prismarine crystals. Excellent. And then the next station, we should get the other ones. Look at that. Works a treat. So next up, we need to go line up the other side, which means we need to drive this boat all the way back again. Onwards. Oh, I need to fix the track first. Because, of course, every time I disassemble it, it destroys all the track that was kind of in the way underneath it. So, yeah, this might happen every now and then. Although, in theory, I won't have to disassemble the ship anymore. Oh, just as I say that, look at that, look. The front's all buckled as well. Ah! So once again, I'm going to get all of this fixed up, and I'll see you back at the other dock once we're done. So after a lot of messing around, I have managed to finally get the oil tanker back over here, and everything's facing the right way, which is nice. Now I need to hook up storage on this side. So I guess if we were to sit the storage interface behind it there, then what we'll do is we'll just link up some drawers all the way to the bottom of one of the warehouses on the dock. Although, oh, it's quite tempting. What we could do is actually have it all feed into just something up here, one of these containers. There's enough boxes here after all. We could just make one a proper vault. And then maybe we could have like a little forklift that goes between the dock and the warehouse and just takes the goods. It'll be a bit more immersive than just having drawers under the dock after all, won't it? And you know what? I think I might just do that. But first off, let's just get it offloading into a vault over here somewhere. And these shipping containers aren't going to be the best for that, because they can only actually hold a stack in each one of the blocks that they take up. Unlike a vault, which can hold 20 stacks in one block. So I think a proper vault's definitely going to be the way to go here. And it doesn't even need to be a particularly big one. So what I might do, if we just punch a little hole down there, and then we'll stick a vault in here, but I don't think I've actually got enough pieces. That'd be a no. So we're going to make a few more vaults, we'll get all this connected up, and then we'll figure out how we're going to do this forklift. I decided against a vault in the end and decided to use drawers so we can actually keep the two resources separate, linked it underground using some drawer trims, and then connected it to the boat with a storage interface. I used item drains and more storage interfaces on the surface to create a pickup point for the forklift, and this is where we now are, and all those things have been offloading from the boat, and we've actually got like 12,000 of those and 3,000 of those. I guess we must have left it parked at that port for quite a lot of the other side. But the important thing is this is actually now ready to get scheduled and sort of start doing its trips, I guess. And that means I need to find myself a driver. What's this? A P2? Well, I don't think I want this guy to be the driver, but we've got more than one seat in the boat. He needs to sit somewhere. So you can just sit there, buddy. Oh, I love him. He's amazing. And that little P2 is too cute not to have a name, so if you've got an idea for a name, do let me know in the comments. You know the drill. But we still need a driver, and I think this sheep over here will do just nicely. I wanted to have a driver that's actually hopefully going to be tall enough to be able to see out the window. Oh! So as I was saying, I think a cow would be absolutely perfect. And you can sit there. Yep, that's perfect. He can see out the window. So let's quickly make him a schedule. So the schedule is set, so I think we should go on a cinematic maiden voyage. So let's make it fancy. Give him that, and we should be off. Well, it took an entire Minecraft day and half the night, but it did in fact complete its journey, which is exactly what we wanted to see. It's all connected up, and in fact, it's now setting off again. Good work, buddy. But we do still need to name this as well, so if you've got an idea for a name for the boat, the driver, and of course, the weird bird thing we've got in there, let me know in the comments and we'll pick the best ones next episode. So the next step is going to be to make a forklift of some kind to transport everything from here over to that warehouse there, which means we're going to need to add more track here. We do need to extend this road all the way to the fish factory anyway, but yeah, we're going to need to connect it over here somewhere. So we've got a bit of work to do down here, but once it's all set up and ready down here, we can make a start on the forklift up the top. So I've got some railing down the bottom there, and this should hopefully be good enough for the forklift, but we do need to figure out how big this thing's going to be. Probably something around that sort of size, which, is it going to be too big for this area, maybe? And how do we even forklift? Although thinking about it, I have actually built a forklift before. If I just run over to these looms and then slowly back away again, suddenly we're in a completely different place. I love how that works. And this is somewhere I have not been for a very long time. And I'll tell you what, I do miss it. And for those who don't know, this is actually my hardcore world, or at least a small part of it. But I'm here to look at this, the forklift. I don't think we're going to be able to get one much smaller than this. I do quite like the design of this one, and I reckon if we were to combine this with some of the framed blocks and other new bits and bobs we've got, we could probably do something quite good. And I think I do actually have a couple of forklifts around here. I'm sure there's another one somewhere. Yep, here's one. Is it the same? does look pretty much the same, doesn't it? But if we were to put a box like this on it as well, we would be able to hide a couple of storage interfaces in it, and I think that could work quite nicely. So let's take a quick photo. Have a quick fly around the city, because I really do miss this place. Oh, we'll be back. We will be back. I don't know when. Maybe the next Minecraft update? Who knows? I mean, do you even want to see more hardcore episodes? Let me know. We could even just come back and do a tour, potentially. Anyway, we need to go home. Back to the looms. And there we are. Right, back in the real world. Now, forklift. I'm going to need to go grab myself some resources first, methinks. A few minutes later, I've got what I need. Now we just need to actually build a forklift. But I guess you've kind of already seen what the end result's most likely going to be, so I'm just going to quickly get this built up. And there we go, one forklift. I've just tweaked a few bits from the original design, mainly to include some girders, but I think this should work nicely. What I need to do now, however, is actually turn it into a train. So let's just stick a station down here, click create new train, add a train casing, and then we'll just use some clear glass panes like we usually do. Get all that glued together, and assemble train. Look at that, first time. That's rare. So now what I need to do is see if it lines up over on the right at any point. Oh, it does. Look at that. Perfect, so that's where we need it. I'm amazed we actually got that right first time. That never happens. So if we put a station down here, so we know that that's going to work, but here comes the difficult bit, because I don't want to be reversing all the way back out onto the main road. I kind of want to see if we can get away with reversing this way a little bit, but I don't know how that's going to pan out. Let's have a little look-see. So that's that station, and then if we go... Nope, not quite like that. We go like that. Okay. I reckon with a few adjustments down here, we might actually be able to get that to work. We only really need to adjust the surface here. If we remove the crates on the right-hand side and just make this sort of platform bit here a little bit wider, we might get away with it. But can we get back out? It looks like we can. Once again, we'll just remove that box there on the left-hand side. But I think we're good. And then this guy's going to go all the way over here and then pull into the warehouse there. So that's awesome. It's definitely going to work. I just need to spend a bit of time tidying up here so we can actually give enough space for the forklift to move around. All right, a short while later, a few signal boxes and some stations. I think we're all set. So the forklift should go around this corner here just fine now. And then over to this bit where it goes to collect. Look at that, and then it reverses. If we look at that from above, we can see it's just about got enough space. I mean, it's a bit tight, but it'll do. And then it can go back out again, go all the way around this way. And then pull into this warehouse here. So if we quickly set up an offloading system in this area, so something like that, and then we're going to need a vault, a couple of item drains, and some funnels. And in fact, instead of vaults, because once again, we do need to keep these things separate so we can actually craft them into the stuff and things we need, what we'll actually do is feed these into a drawer controller. Oh, wait a minute, that's not going to work. We need to lower this. So hopefully, if we just do that, we should start getting everything loading in. Oh, wait a minute. That needs to be a drawer controller slave. And the drawer controller should be down there. Oh, no, it's not that at all. It's because I haven't actually marked on the boxes what should be going in them. So if we do that, there we go. Now it's offloading. So all this forklift needs is a driver and a schedule. And I should probably patch up the road as well. I've left holes all over the place. And I'm sure you've noticed, but it's definitely starting to get a little bit framey around here. We've built a lot of factories, a lot of production things going on, and this part of the world is starting to struggle just a tad. But it's fine, we're moving to a new area soon. So this little raccoon, he looks like a forklift driver. Come with me, sir. Oh, look at his little tail go. Oh, he loves it. He's so excited. You're about to be an employed raccoon. Now let's quickly set up a schedule, and that should just about do it. Off you go, buddy. Oh, he needs to be slowed down. Come here. Right, you, carry on. And that's awesome. The forklift's doing its thing. We've got the boat going. Oh, no, the forklift is not doing its thing. Seems to be having some kind of a problem. But I think I know what that is. I think this station here just needs to be moved back a block, because currently it can't get onto the right bend. And yep, there we go. That fixed it. Off you go, buddy. Now let's just make sure he comes back. Yep, here he comes. And hopefully this time it will reverse properly. Excellent. So this is all well and good, but something I do need to do is head back over to the monument and just make sure that the actual sort of bit where the boat picks up all the things is chunk loaded, because currently it's going over there and not collecting anything. So all I need to do is select these two bits here, make sure they're loaded, and we should be good. And with any luck, the cargo ship should be coming in fairly soon. In fact, there it is just now, coming to do its thing. So with the boat done, we're now transporting everything from the oil rig over to the dock. With the forklift done, we're now transporting it into the warehouse. Now we just need to process it into usable blocks. And that's going to be interesting to figure out because we don't actually have a black dye farm. So we can't make dark prismarine. But that doesn't mean we can't automate sea lanterns, prismarine bricks, prismarine, and, well, I suppose we could set up for dark prismarine, even if we can't automate it fully yet. We can definitely get our hands on a whole bunch of black dye and just preload the factory to begin with. And maybe we'll automate it in future, who knows. Thankfully, the recipes for all these things are fairly straightforward. They only have one step, which is nice. But we are still going to need to rearrange some things over here, so let's get rid of them from there for now. We'll put them over here just so we can always see how much we've got, but now we need to figure out the start of this factory. But as I say, thankfully, it's all fairly straightforward. So the first two, what we're going to do is we're going to get some mechanical presses. We're going to get a couple of basins. We'll put the basins here. We'll have them exit over this side. We'll use some drawer controller slaves there, and once again to feed everything back in. We'll add some funnels with filters. We'll have this one send out 4 at a time. We'll have this one send out 9 at a time. Get the mechanical presses in. And I guess we should probably think about power, actually. And with that in mind, I'm actually going to move this one block away from the wall. And that way, we can just sneak some power in along the side here. There we go. That's some power stolen. And while we're here, actually, let's just quickly connect up the storage as well. We'll get the mechanical presses back in. And as soon as we put these down, we should... hopefully. Yep, there we go. Oh, not this one. I haven't set the filter. And I want to make sure that they're always producing the right thing. So we're going to do that and that. And as soon as we attach some more empty drawers to the system, these will all start feeding in there. But I don't want to use everything up, so we're not going to do that just yet. So next up, I want to make myself some sea lanterns. So let me just get rid of these for now so we don't start spitting stuff out everywhere. And we'll just replace those with them temporarily. And then for sea lanterns, we're going to need 4 of these and 5 of these. In fact, just to make this look a bit better, I'm going to leave this as it was and just build a whole separate machine. So we'll put one in the middle here instead, I think. And we're going to want 4 shards, 5 crystals. And these ones are going to go onto depots, which this dude's then going to pick up and feed into a mechanical crafter. But we don't actually have any mechanical crafters. Question is, can I make any here without having to run away? Actually, probably. Yep, look at that. Wonderful. So for the mechanical crafters, we're going to need 9. In fact, I'm going to raise it up a level there just to make powering it and getting the stuff out of it a little bit easier. You can feed that directly into there. Get all that connected up underground. Then what we want to do is stick a load of andesite funnels on the back here. I don't really want to waste brass ones because we're going to have 2 arms doing this anyway. So the first arm is going to take from there and put into those 5. And the second arm is going to go for those 4 corners, take from there, and that should give us the right recipe layout for sea lanterns. If I've done it the right way around, which I think I have. Then we just need to steal some power, which should be easy enough to do that. And we also need to power the crafting table, but that's probably actually going to be easier from up here. We can just do that and stick a cog there. Now let's quickly test and see if this is going to make what we want. Oh, no, of course it's not. We've not actually linked up the storage yet. Right, so that should do it. There we go. Are we going to get sea lanterns? We are, and they have nowhere to go once again, same as the other ones, but once again, that's absolutely fine for now. We'll sort out a nice little place for it all to get stored later. But the last thing we want to sort here is dark prismarine, and to be honest, I might just kind of reflect this over here, because it needs the same layouts. So we're pretty much set up over here. The last thing I need to do is just set the filters, so we're going to need 8 of these at a time, and we're going to need 1 black ink, but as I say, we're not actually auto-producing that anywhere at the moment, so for now, what I might do is just stick another crate here, then I can just load up loads of ink and let it do its thing when it has it. I'm sure we can find a way to get a whole load of black ink pretty quickly. So I guess the last thing I need to do is just have somewhere for all of the final resources to go. And I'm thinking we'll just put a nice little thing over here. And there we go, just something as simple as that will do for now. And all the machines have kicked in because they can actually drop off what they're making, which is nice. The only thing we're still missing Here's a whole bunch of ink. So let's go see if we can make some. I have an idea, but it's going to involve a whole lot of wood. And what I'm hoping is that we can turn all of this into charcoal. And my hope is if we now go crush a bunch of this over here in the big wheel thing, hopefully that's going to give us black dye. It does. Ooh, and some grey. I don't need that, I just want black. So let's just make loads of it and just stock up the system for now. And the good news is we've got so much wood, it's really not going to make a dent. And there we go, almost 8,000 ink. That should keep it going for a while. And the last thing we need to do is to get these 4 resources over to the main warehouse. And when it comes to pickup for these items, we've just built in this warehouse here, and we already have a pickup area right out the back here with 4 slots empty. So, well, I think this makes sense to put it here. Now all I need to do is catch this delivery guy. Okay, let's steal his schedule. So, picks up cobble, moss factory, drops that off there. Yep. Then it picks up kelp, it picks up moss. So what we want to do is put in some extra stops around here. So if we just add in all these extra stops, we should be fine. And now we play the waiting game and just see if he actually turns up over here and picks up the stuff we want him to. Oh, is it? I was eating a muffin. Oh, jeez. Oh, wait a minute. I'm missing the funnels. Well, I managed to get the last one on in time, and that just proves he has space, I guess. Well, it looks like he's doing what he needs to, and we know that that side of the warehouse works, so I declare this complete. What a day of transportation it's been. We've got our forklift going around doing its thing with our lovely raccoon driver, we've got our giant cargo ship somewhere, probably off over the horizon, and we're getting a bunch of new bricks up to the warehouse. What a great day indeed. And don't forget, if you have name ideas for our captain and our first mate over here, please do let me know in the comments, and the big oil tanker could do with the name as well. And while you're down in the comments, if you haven't hit the subscribe button yet and you are enjoying these episodes, please do, because it really does help the channel out. And I don't ask often. But sadly, that's all we've got time for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. I know I've had a whale of a time, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye now.